Hi everyone, welcome back to Living a Balanced Life. On today's episode, we're going to talk about back to school. There's a lot of anxiety about going back to school with the coronavirus and how you get your kids prepared and how you prepare yourself for going back. So if you're interested, stay with me as we talk about the safety tips for back to school and to get you excited again about going back to school to reduce the anxiety. Stay with me.
Exclusive.
So normally going back to school for some kids, it's anxiety packed, but this year especially it's even worse because there's the coronavirus, and then we've been in quarantine for months and months and months, depends on where you live, and now kids have to go back to school again. And then of course it's not the routine going back to school where all the kids, you go and buy their stuff and then on to school they go. Now we have to look at the schedule of when kids are going back to school, in terms of some are doing online classes, some are doing in person, but then it's staggered. So there's a lot of anxiety with parents and then with children. So my kids, some of them are very anxious about going back because they're worried about, what if I get the coronavirus? But remember, the coronavirus has been around for a while now, and there's a lot more information that we know now about the coronavirus than before. A lot more people are surviving the coronavirus, so not necessarily everybody that gets sick from the coronavirus will die, right? It's very similar to the flu. The anxiety is that because we don't have a vaccine for it, but the researchers are working on it, and they soon will have a vaccine that can help with the coronavirus. But in the meantime, to keep yourself safe and to protect yourself as kids and protect your classmates and your teachers, and for parents to protect themselves, it's very important that we practice these safety measures. And the safety measures include making sure that you take care of yourself. And how do you do that? So if you're going back to school and you're done your back to school shopping, now going back to school is not where you're sharing everything with your friends anymore, right? Because we have to be careful. Even though we love to share and it's good to share, this time around we have to be careful because we want to not be touching too many things to keep each other sick. Because if I have the virus and I cough in my hands and then I touch my stuff and then you go and touch it, there's a chance that you can get it. Or if you rub your eye or touch your face, there's a chance that you can get sick from it. So we have to be very careful when we go back to school. We have to listen to our teachers, follow the instructions. So where you're supposed to sit, you sit there. Remember, we're keeping distances so we're safe, right? So keeping ourselves 6 feet apart. So this classroom will be staggered so that your chair is not right next to your best friend, but that's still okay. At least you get to see your best friend. We need to all be safe for now, and then as things improve, we'll get closer and closer and closer again. So making sure that you have all your supplies. So parents, make sure that you get your kids all the supplies they need, because I know we teach our kids to share, and it's in the kids' nature to share, but right now we're kind of saying don't share anything because we want to contain the virus where we're not spreading it around so people can bring it home and get their family members sick. So if your child is depending on what grade they're in, like my daughter is in grade 3 and this is her backpack, making sure that she has a pencil case, she has all the supplies that she needs in there, so she's not sharing anything with anyone, right? So make sure that you pack their backpack with everything that they need. Now we're going back to school with the masks, right? Before in Canada or in Ontario area, it was grade 4 and up that had to wear masks. Now grade 1 and up have to wear masks, just so we can all be safe. So now bringing a mask is mandatory for going back to school, right? So if your child is not used to wearing the mask, this is a good time to practice because we have a couple of weeks before back to school starts. So you can have them wear their masks, and then while they are home, while you're doing reading with them, when you're doing some household chores, they can have the mask on just to practice wearing it and being active, which is how it's going to be while they're at school. Like when it's if you take your kids to the mall, now that we're able to go to the mall and do a little bit of course shopping, but being safe, make sure that they're wearing their mask because it's required, and then being in there for a couple of hours so they get used to it, right? Wearing the mask. And then, you know, if you want to make it fun for your kids, or kids if you're a little bit older and you can make it fun for us, you can, you know, the mask, you can buy this, you can buy it anywhere, you can make it yourself, you can bedazzle it how you want. Just go to like Dollar Tree or Dollarama, you can get those diamond stones and you can bedazzle your mask how you want it. So if you want to look fabulous but still feeling safe, right? So it's important that we keep our mask on, right, when we're going to school. Practice that with your kids so they know that it's important. You know, any mask that you prefer. Of course, the cloth one is better because then you can reuse by washing and you know, reusing, and we also keep waste down, so we're not you know, causing a lot of issues for our planet. Of course, making sure that your kids have their own lip balm or lip gloss. So get these from whatever store you buy them from. Make sure they have their own. No sharing allowed, because once again, if somebody is sick and they put their lip gloss on and a child borrows it and you put it on your lip, there's a chance of getting the virus. So make sure that you have your kids their own lip glosses and lip balm that they can use. Of course, you know, even scrunchies. I know you know, especially with the girls who want to keep our hair up and whatever, and you can tell your friend, can I borrow this? Not anymore. You know, have you can get this from like Walmart or Dollarama or Dollar Tree. Get it, have a few in the kids' backpack, so if they need it, they can use it. So they make sure that they're equipped with everything that they might need, so they're not borrowing it from their friends to make them sick. If your child is a little bit older and, you know, where, especially the girls, you know, they can have their little little pouch where they can put like the hair scrunchie in. They can bring extra masks that they can keep in there. They can have their lip gloss in there as well, right? Just in case, so they have their own little safety pack that they have. Sanitizer, very important. So hand washing is still number one, because hand washing is very important. It's help you prevent the spread of the virus. So how do you wash your hands? Making sure that you're washing with soap and water, and you're washing it for 20 seconds. So make sure that you're scrubbing in between your toe, you're washing under your nails and washing around your wrist, and then you rinse under the water. You take a paper towel, you wipe, and then you turn the tap off, just so you're not contaminating your hand. So that's hand washing, making sure that you wash your hands for 20 seconds, kids. So count 20 seconds in your head, or sing the happy birthday from beginning to end, and that will be 20 seconds to make sure that you're washing your hands properly. So it's very important. If you don't have access to soap and water, then the hand sanitizers are great, right? Make sure that parents make sure that it's about 60 to 70% alcohol based, so then it's efficient. So you squeeze a little bit in your hand like this, right? And then you make sure that you disinfect your hand, so you sanitize your hand. So you put it in between, put it under your nails, and then leave it to dry. So don't put it on and then wipe it in your clothes, because then it's like you took it off. So make sure that you keep it on to dry so it can disinfect properly, right? And these ones, you can get it from Dollarama, you can get it from Walmart, any store that you get your stuff from, and it's refillable. So if you buy the big tub, parents, you can, and you get this little cute one, you can just refill it for them, and they can use it. Make sure that they have one. They can have two, or they can have the one that's a little bit bigger. You can keep this also in your little safety pocket that they'll keep in your backpack, or they can be in your backpack so they can use. So these are very, very important things. Before we didn't think too much about it. Now we have to, because we have to make sure that we're not spreading the coronavirus or any kind of virus around. Another thing is, if you are sick, kids, if you're sick, tell your parents you're sick. Parents, if your kids are sick, please keep them home, right? Because we want to make sure that we're not bringing them to school to infect other kids and other people. So if you're sick with the cough and the you know, like flu-like symptoms like runny nose, you know, you have sore throat, you have chest pain, you have back pain, and you just generally don't feel well, it's better to see your doctor. Make sure you're safe, and then you do not go to school to infect other people. So that's very important. Of course, making sure that if we're coughing and sneezing, what do? We make sure that we are protecting ourselves, and we're protecting all the people around us. So if you're coughing, you don't cough into your hands, because if you cough in your hands and you touch things, the virus and the bacteria are on those things. So when somebody touches it, they can get sick. So make sure that you cough into your elbow, that you cough like this, you cover it, or if you have a tissue, you use the tissue, and then you dispose of the tissue properly. So make sure that we're practicing sneezing and coughing etiquette. So if you cough out there and you don't cover it, it can travel and then it can get other people sick. So let's keep our air clean by practicing proper coughing and sneezing etiquette, right? So that's also very important. Make sure that if you're an older girl and you need your own pads, make sure you have your own. Remember, no sharing, because we want to keep ourselves safe and everybody safe. So you can have your little pocket here, right, where you can have your sanitizer in. You can have, you don't have to bring the whole thing. You can bring maybe 2 pads just in case, right? Like especially girls in the middle school, make sure that you have, your own little pad in here. You can zip it up. It could be in your backpack, right? It could be on the safety part of your backpack, so you have everything that you might need at school just in case. Okay, so that's very important, making sure that we're doing that. And then when we're at home, we have to keep our home clean, right? So what do? Same thing. Cough into your arm. If you, little girls, if you want to help, or boys, if you want to help your parents clean, make sure you're disinfecting everywhere, right? So the doorknobs, use the disinfectant wipe to wipe the doorknobs, to areas that you touch most of the time. The countertops, make sure that you're cleaning there to keep everybody clean and keep yourself from getting sick. So that's very, very important. And remember, this is something new. It's the new norm now. It's going to get better. So if you're feeling a little bit anxious about going back to school, that's okay. Talk to your parents and ask questions. If you have questions, ask your parents. They'll be able to answer you. There's tons of information. If you want to learn a little bit more about safety tips on the coronavirus or any kind of infectious disease in general, just make sure you can go to the World Health Organization website. If you live in Canada, you can go on like canada.ca, and then you can, there's tons of information for you. Talk to your parents. Don't worry too much about what's going on. I know the news is filled with anxiety-packed information, but remember, now we're slowly getting back to normal, where we're able to socialize a little bit, but we have to take baby steps so we don't get sick all at once, and that's the problem, right? So, you want to play with your friends, but be careful. Remember, handshaking is out because we want to keep our hands clean, right? If you accidentally touch your friend's hand, it's not the end of the world. Just go make sure you wash your hands or disinfect, and then you're safe. Okay, so make sure we have to be very mindful and have these at the back of our mind. Let's keep practicing being safe, and we're all gonna go back to school, be safe and not get sick. So try these tips. If your kids are not used to wearing the mask, practice now. Have them wear it. Do some household activity. Read with them. Let them read while they have that on, just to get them used to wearing it. Create fun activities around where you can just, buy this different masks on the market, like fun ones that you can buy that have different, like their favorite character on there. That's another way. The older kids, if they want to, the girls, that if they want to bedazzle their mask, by all means they can do that, right? This is all good ways to, embrace the new norm, and then it works better that way, and to reduce the anxiety, because a lot of parents are very anxious about kids going back to school, and a lot of kids are very anxious. So let's be open, let's talk about it. If you have any questions or any comment, let me know. Anything you want to know, let me know, so I'll do my best to answer it. Share this video with your friends and family. Let's all practice being safe. Let's all practice being good citizens, where we're looking out for each other, so we can go back to school and feel safe at school. And remember, listen to your teacher. Where you're supposed to sit. Which washroom you're supposed to use that. Make sure you're following all the instructions, so that if somebody were to get sick, we'll be able to track where they were, and then kind of help everybody that was exposed to help. Make sure that everyone gets the help that they need. So take care of yourself, stay safe. Everything is going to be okay. We just have to take baby steps. Make sure that you have all your supplies that you need. Anything that you feel you need, let your parents know. Parents, anything you think your kids need, make sure you buy it for them so they have access to it. No sharing, so we can control the spread of the virus, so we can all be safe and hopefully go back to living a normal, balanced life. So another tip, as parents, if you don't have a thermometer at home, that's one thing that you want to get, because thermometers, you need it to check the temperature. If your child is not feeling well, the only way you know if it's, how their fever is by checking. So make sure that you have thermometer at hand that you can use if if your child is sick, you can check your temperature and make sure that they're safe. And if they are sick, then at least you know, and then you can bring them where they need to be. Or have Tylenol and Advil on board. Another thing that I talked about with the having the safety bag. If your kid, let's say they're a little bit older and you get the period or whatever, make sure that you have the pad, but also you can have, depending on the child's age, what medication that they take. For example, if when they on their period they're cramping and they need like Tylenol and Advil, have a few in there, so they have it in the little, they sell it in a little container that looks like this, that you can put it in your bag, and then they have access to it if they need it, so they're not borrowing or taking from them. Make sure your kids have tissue. This is like from, I think this is from either Dollarama or Walmart, I don't remember, but it's pre-packaged, and there's like a lot of it in there. You can have at least 2 in your kids' backpack that they have access to tissue if they need it, right? You want to make sure that they are equipped with everything they need, so that they're not sharing with your friends. And I know we all miss our friends and we all miss each other, but remember, if you see your friends, you can smile and wave. Let's limit the hugging, because if someone, let's say by accident, coughs in your hand and didn't realize, and now they're hugging you and they're touching you, and the virus is on you, you touch yourself, you touch your face, you can get sick. So let's make sure that we take care of ourselves, take care of each other, so we can all stay safe. Good luck for going back to school. So until next time, stay safe and take care. Bye-bye.
Exclusive.